This is a great concern, being open to both sides of the argument for civil rights. I haven't started the discussion yet with clients, but it's a problem I could see coming up in the future. I think this is a good point. Does anyone have any ideas of what you could do to kind of maybe open up that and encourage people to see the other side? Do you have something?
One thing I did, and I don't know if everybody got to it, but there's a quote from the letter from the Baptist Convention that is almost exactly the quote from Martin Luther King. And they could see that those were two gentlemen. You'd have to simplify some of the speeches, but you could really see that these two gentlemen both wanted civil rights. They both wanted to advance, the cause of the African Americans, but that the difference was in approach. And what they're arguing about here is not whether Martin Luther King was good or bad, or whether black people should have had equal rights, but that there were, legitimate people on both sides, some who felt that civil disobedience was important, some who felt that they should, I'm going to say it in a dismissive way, but wait around for something to happen. So there are issues where I think you do have to be very sensitive. We're talking about doing a unit on the First Amendment, and Brittany decided yesterday that we shouldn't start with the case that involves the Ku Klux Klan, because that's going to be a little hard, but maybe after we start with the case that talks about Nazis, and maybe isn't as jarring and sensitive for some of our students, then you can go into that. So some of it is about setting up the environment. A lot of it is setting up the environment.
Sensitive
they have to know this history. If the letter from the Birmingham jail is not on some version of the test, I would just be shocked, because it's in all the materials about an example of what the students should be able to read. So, you're going to do history. It's not pretty.
Okay. Other points or comments about this Unit 4? Right, then we'll go into Unit 5 real quick, and then I'll talk about another activity you can use. Voting rights. Someone said an activity you could try could set up good discussion about women's suffrage would be to brainstorm prior knowledge and identify how the students have this knowledge. That's a good idea. Analyzing graphs. Anytime you can bring in graphs and visuals, that's excellent. I did an activity about disenfranchisement, felony disenfranchisement, actually, and I put up a map with the laws from state to state on voting rights for felons, and then I just gave students note cards with different scenarios. So maybe I'm a 30-year-old man who has served my time, and I'm now out and I live in Vermont. Can I vote? Yes or no? So they had to look at the map with the laws and then place the scenario card in a yes or no, could I vote or not. So it's a great way. Anytime you can bring in visuals, graphs, charts, anything like that, that was a way that students were able to get that information on their own. I had nothing, I created the activity, so I had something to do with it, but the students did it totally independent. So that's a great way to bring in visuals that will really help them for the test.